Hello, Benjamin. In Despicable Me 2, you lend your voice to two characters. Can you firstly tell us about Eduardo?
Eduardo Perez is a humble restaurant owner of the Mexican restaurant Salsa y Salsa, which is conveniently located in a mall. He's a corpulent man. He's clearly a man in the midst of middle age. He's let his waistline go. He's got a bad comb over, and yet he's irresistibly charming. Why? He's Latin. He's got a zest for life. He's
wonderful dancer.
Yeah, he's kind of a larger-than-life persona, and he has a kind of charm and a suave to him. And as you say, yes, he's light on his feet, so he's a great dancer. What's not to like about that? El Macho.
El Macho
is thought to be the most dangerous, the most ruthless, and of course the most macho villain that ever lived. And if in fact the one is the other, then what a combination that is.
And what was it like lending your voice to two different characters in one film?
It was a real, it's a challenge.
Confusing?
No, not confusing so much as challenging, especially in part because as an actor on camera, you have all these other things to rely on to convey an emotion or to convey a feeling. But here you only have the vocal thing to actually achieve that. And so while Eduardo might be suave and smooth and charming, and that, you have to find a kind of menace in the tone. And for me, it was in a lower kind of register. But in both characters, I wanted to really be clear about maintaining a kind of twinkle in the eye, which speaks to a glee almost, an enjoyment of both the love he has for his son and his friends, but also an enjoyment of an act of villainy.
Buenos dias, my friends. I am Eduardo Perez, owner of Salsa y Salsa restaurant across the mall. Now, open for breakfast. And you are?
Now, this is the second animated film you voiced. You also voiced Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Do you enjoy doing voice work? What makes it fun and interesting for you?
As an actor, I'm always looking to mix it up. And, I think the biggest reward in being in a film like this is that my kids enjoy it. I've done so many different kinds of jobs, and most of them my kids can't see. A little bit too much adult content going on there. So to actually be in a film that they were already a fan of in the first one, and that we can enjoy together now, to me that's the greatest reward.
And how long did it take, the whole process?
It was a struggle to find the right tone, the right balance of menace and humor. Probably about a week, which, given the part, is a long time.
Lipstick taser! Agent Lucy Wilde works for the AVL, the Anti-Villain League, and she meets Gru when, she sort of seeks his help to find this villain who wants to take over the world. And yeah, she's very happy about her job. She loves all of her gadgets. She's very energetic.
Yes.
Yeah, her and Gru sort of developed this relationship together through working together. That's really sweet.
And you were also in the first Despicable Me, which was a huge success. But in this one, you play a different character. In that one, you were Miss Hattie. Were there talks of a second one back then? And how did it feel to come back on board with a different character?
The first one was so much fun. I heard about the second one after the first one came out. And yeah, they asked me to come back and do a different character, and I was so excited and flattered because I loved being a part of the first one. And yeah, I feel really lucky that they asked me to come back.
I hadn't watched the first one, but I enjoyed it so much. I was like jumping up and down.
Movie. Yeah, it's really
fun.
really
it's
sweet,
funny.
and kids and adults will love it.
And which character did you have more fun? Which one did you enjoy more?
Oh gosh, I can't pick one. Which one I had more fun with? I mean, Miss Hattie was really fun because she was sort of a villain in her own way. She wasn't very nice, and I don't ever get to play characters like that, so that was kind of fun. And then Lucy's, was just so positive, and it was a ball.
Aztec warfare and crumping.
Now, you voiced a number of animated films: Ice Age, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, How to Train Your Dragon. Do you enjoy doing animated films? What makes it interesting or fun for you?
I love doing it. It's a chance for me to, you know, explore different characters. You can do different things with your voice that sometimes you can't do in live action film. And, you know, especially after leaving SNL, it gives me a chance to still do that kind of character work.
And what's next for Kristen Wiig? And is there, I'm sure you get asked this a lot, is there going to be a sequel to Bridesmaids?
Yeah. No, there's not going to be a sequel.
Aww.
No, we loved making the first one, and we're just going to sort of let it be what it is and have it exist sort of in that way. What was the first part of your question? Oh, what's next?
Yeah.
I have a movie called Girl Most Likely coming out in mid-July. And this winter, Anchorman and Secret Life of Walter Mitty, a couple other little independent films.
And are there talks for Despicable Me 3?
I hope so. I haven't heard anything officially, but I hope so. That would be great.
Margot's the oldest of the three little girls that Gru adopts in the first film, and she's pretty protective of her two little sisters, and in this movie she has her first love.
Now, you're in the first Despicable Me, which was a huge hit. Did you ever think it was going to be that big? And were there talks of a second one back then?
There weren't really talks of a second one back then. I think we definitely thought that it was good, but I think everyone was kind of surprised by how much people responded to it and excited about how much people really liked it. So I was really excited to find out they were going to make another.
And you've done voice work before, too. What makes it fun or interesting for you?
I think it's really cool, like, seeing your voice come out of somebody that isn't you, and getting to, like, be in a booth and just, like, really not worry about how you look or anything and just put it all into, like, your voice is really fun.
How did you come to be part of the first one?
The first one I actually just auditioned for, and I didn't really know much about it when I went in. They were like, oh, they're kind of keeping it a secret. And then I found out all these awesome comedians were in the movie, and it's been a really cool experience.
You also performed a soundtrack on Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which also had Benjamin Bratt in it. What do you enjoy most, singing or acting, and where do you see yourself proceeding the most?
I think if I had to choose, I would probably choose acting, just because that's the first thing I ever really loved or wanted to do. But yeah, I like singing a lot too, and I guess both are really cool.
And you've been acting since you were 3.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a journey. What's it like growing up in front of a camera?
Well, I mean, I went on auditions and stuff when I was little, when I was 3, but just like every once in a while. So I don't know, I really didn't start like acting until maybe I was like 8, and I don't know, I like it a lot. I feel like I've had a really good experience with it, and I can't really see myself doing anything else now. I really like it.
And is there talks of a Despicable Me 3?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope that they make one. I know there's a Minion movie that they might be making, so but yeah, I hope people like this one. There's a lot of funny Minion moments.
And you had an album come out in 2010, I think it was. And are you looking forward to making more albums? And
well, I've been in the studio a little bit the last few months, so I'm hoping to release something new very soon.
And are you writing your own material?
Yeah, I've been writing a lot more, and like with the band that I went on tour with several times, I became really close with them, so I've written a lot of stuff with them, which has been really cool.
And with, I want to ask some technical questions about Despicable Me too. When you were making the film, I mean, how long did it take you to do the voice recordings, and did you actually do you actually record on your own, or do you do some scenes? Did you do scenes with Steve and Kristen, and what was it like working with them?
Everybody actually did their parts individually, but sometimes they'll play some of the lines that other people have recorded already, so you get a little bit of an idea. But for the most part, everything's just alone, and then I know Steve pretty well now, just from doing publicity, so it's been really cool getting to know him. He's really nice.
And how long did it take you to actually record it?
Well, the first movie, I know it took like 7 years from when they first started, and I was only involved for like 2 or 3 years, and for this one, 2 years, so.
Fear not, for here come the gallant knights to save us. Wait, did you hear that? It sounded like the twinkling sounds of magical fairy dust. Yeah, sure. I'm, Margot. I'll catch up with you guys later. Bye.
Whoa. Who are you texting?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter unless it's a boy.
Hello, Carell. Now, you've lent your music to a lot of films, but I believe Despicable Me is the first time you've come on board as a composer for the whole film. How did you come to be part of Despicable Me?
I was afforded the opportunity by the music supervisor at the time. Her name was Kathy Nelson. And for the first one, I scored it and I did the soundtrack. This time, Heitor Pereira is doing the score, and I just opted to just do songs for it because it was so, it's such a comprehensive, time-consuming process. It's like huge workload, and I wanted to give my best. And so I'm very thankful at my involvement for this one as well. And
you made 2 or is it 3 songs for the film?
3.
3, that's right. And I loved your choice of music, from Bob Marley to Barry White, you had Pitbull. What was the most effective in terms of the choices you made for the films?
Well, they were basically, they were songs that just fit so well that they kept them in. My contribution was just based off of, the overarching theme. Where in the beginning, when I did the score for the first one and the soundtrack, I tried to, and especially on the soundtrack, I tried to take the inspiration from different aspects of different characters. But I was never 1,000,000% pleased with my work. I was more happy and appreciative for the opportunity and the fellowship that I had with the staff and the production. But
I appreciated your work. I was singing and dancing the whole film.
Oh, thank you so much.
It was so much fun.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
I think music was a big part of it, absolutely. The whole enjoyment and the...
I'm just kind of hard on myself about certain things, But I am proud to say that I'm much happier with my, I'm super pleased with my work here because I chose the overarching theme as an inspiration. So basically, if you notice the 3 songs that I did, they're just different iterations of just optimism and being happy and everything is going to be okay, that kind of thing.
Now, how was Despicable Me 2 different? Were there talks of the second installment right away after the success of the first, or... Because you were on board with the first one as well. Yeah,
I think they went right into it. I was, immediately when I got the call, I was like, yes. Yes.
Wonderful. And you collaborated with another composer on the film. And how was that the second time around? Because at the first one, I think you worked together as well. And
Heitor Pereira. Yeah, he's genius. He's a genius guy. He's this Brazilian, incredible guitarist, composer, genius guy that I was just so lucky to work with, and he taught me so much. They definitely wanted a more soulful sound that felt very early 70s. I'm a 70s baby, so I love that.
The new songs from Carell are full of fun, and it's a tough process. You go to Carell and you say, hey, write a great song, and he does.
Hello, Steve. In Despicable Me 2, you play, or you lend your voice to Gru. Can you please tell us about your character?
Gru is an ex-evil mastermind. He is now a dad, father of 3. And in this movie, he's faced with a few problems, one of which is that he's no longer this evil villain, and he has to come up with a new career that's legitimate because he has 3 little girls to take care of. Another problem is that his oldest daughter is becoming interested in boys. That's a new world that he has to deal with, something he's not accustomed to. And at the same time, his girls want him to start dating and potentially find a mom for them, which is completely out of his comfort zone. So he's a lot on his plate right now.
Now, Despicable Me, the first, was made in 2010 and ended up being a huge box office hit. Over 540 million, if anyone is curious out there. How did you become part of it? Did you ever think it would become as successful as it was?
I don't think anyone had any expectation of it becoming that sort of success, because it was a fairly small movie to begin with. But I I really liked the script. I thought it was unique. I thought the characters were different than others I've seen. To have the hero be the villain as well, and not be a completely nice guy was interesting and intriguing. One of the things I really liked about the first one, and I think it's applicable to this one too, is that it's not condescending toward children. It's very smart, it's very sophisticated, plays on a few different levels, so parents will enjoy it too. So I don't know, all those things put together, I understand now why it was such a big hit, but at the time, you never know.
Yeah, it's fun and musical, and I hadn't watched the first one, so this one was a total surprise, and I actually broke my tooth on my popcorn, and I ate
You ate your crown?
I ate half of my tooth. I enjoyed it that much.
You know what? We're going to put that on the poster. This movie you'll love it so much you'll eat your tooth.
Now, Despicable Me was your first animated film experience. Did you enjoy it? Well, other than being able to turn up to work in pajamas and not having to worry about your hair and makeup, what are the other perks?
Well, it wasn't actually my first animated movie. I've done a few. I did Over the Hedge for DreamWorks. I did Horton Hears a Who. So I've done a few of them, and I love doing it because it's, well, for one thing, it's just pure fun because you get in there and there are no rules. You read the script, you improvise your own stuff, you play around, you try to make them laugh, and there are no boundaries to it. And of course, yeah, you don't have to dress up, you don't have to look good. And it's just fun. And you know what? You do it for a couple of years, and at the end of it all, you go see something, and it's fantastic. And you had this tiny little part of it, which was fun to, just fun to be part of something that's good and that make people happy, really.
How did you come up with the accent for Gru? Because he's kind of Russian, but not really. Yeah. And I also believe you lent some of your own ideas into creating his character. Did you come up with a lot of any of the dialogue, or was there?
Some of it. The script is so good. It doesn't really need to be improved by improvising it. But at the same time, they definitely encouraged us all to improvise and if we had a specific joke we wanted to try or a different way of reading a line, they were always open to those things. The voice itself, the accent, I wanted it to sound vaguely Eastern European, sort of in a classic villainous tone, but not, I didn't want it to be decipherable as a nationality. I thought it should be very vague in that way. I wanted it to sound kind of threatening, but mostly just funny and silly.
Scared? What? Of women? No. That is bonkers. I just have no interest in going out on the date. That's all. Case closed. I will get you out of this. I really hate that chicken.